I see 40 participants are back. Do we still have others joining us?
I think you can proceed.
Okay. So, welcome back, everyone. So let us hear how you went through your group discussions, and then we will have a wrap-up session after you have all presented. So would like to start with the team breakout room 1, the team that was going through motivation, where we had Kilele and Naivasha Toastmasters. So the group leader for these 2 clubs, kindly take us through your introduce yourself and take us through your presentation.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Carol Nderi, President Kilele Toastmasters. And in the breakout room 1, we were discussing motivation. It was Kilele and Naivasha. So maybe some members of Naivasha were not able to join. I think there was only one person, Christine, I believe. But nevertheless, we tackled the topic at hand, which is motivation. And all of us were in concurrence about what motivation entails. And part of this, or the commencement of this, has to begin with identifying why the members are there individually. That you have to understand why Mary or John or Kamau or Otieno are there in that club. Are they there to make friends? Are they there to be better leaders, to inculcate organizational skills, to be better communicators? Are they shy and they need to learn how to stand in front of people? And so you engage them more in table topics and that kind of a thing. It has to begin with the comprehension of why this person is here. And then once you identify that, then you can have an elaborate mentorship program, a one-on-one kind of an engagement. A new member, for example, can be attached to an older member who can mentor them and show them the ropes so that they don't feel too lost. So that keeps them motivated. Now, drawing from an example that or something we do at Kilele Toastmasters, initially when somebody completed a path or finished a speech, even in the legacy program, a CC, a CL, we'd just give certificates. And later, our VP, Dr. Riaru, together with his committee, inclusive of the new VP, Kiragori, and just a collection of minds, thought that it is better now to just top it up a little bit within the club's finances. So they may, over and beyond giving certificates, they start giving a little bar of chocolate or a notebook, inexpensive items that still say, together with the certificate, that still show the member, look here, we appreciate your journey, we appreciate the effort, we appreciate the sacrifice, and here we acknowledge you. Because why then do we give ribbons at the end of the meetings, or rather at the end of the, best evaluator, best table topics, best speaker, most improved? We applause, first of all. We give an applause, we applaud the members in the form of giving applause, we clap for them, we give ribbons. So this keeps them motivated, a sense of belonging in the club. That yes, I am proud to be part of this club. And also identifying what this person is passionate about. Once you know what they're passionate about, you're able to tap into it. The sense of pride that someone may have, you tap into it and run away with it. That way you keep members motivated. I don't know how much time I had, but maybe I can conclude.
Maybe you can conclude. Thank you, Carol. You could conclude and kindly share everything else that you discussed on the chat about motivation. I really, really, really love those ideas. We'll surely borrow them and take them back to my club. Maybe just take us through what plans you have in regards to the club success plan. When do you plan to do it? And then I will ask Robert Karanja to give us a direction on by when we should have finished and submitted to whomever Robert will advise us to.
Okay, thank you. For the new EXCO, we got sworn in on Thursday, this past Thursday. So ball running, we just want to get everything started. So filling the club success plan, we're hoping, I think because we're getting into July, we'll seek guidance on when exactly we're supposed to have done all these things, because soon I don't think it's good enough an answer. So we'll need better timelines. Yeah. But of course, our intention is, we are purposeful and intentional as EXCO about getting everything done by the book, and of course the also unspoken rules of how we conduct ourselves as leaders to motivate even the members of the club.
Thank you very much, Carol. Let's give a huge round of applause. You could even just unmute yourself for a few seconds or use the reaction function to appreciate those percipient information that she has shared with us. And Carol, you're right, there is actually a date. We have a deadline for submitting this. I will allow our convener to communicate the same towards the end. Group number 2, which was going through delegation, Nakuru and Ruaraka. Who is presenting on behalf of these 2 clubs? Kindly, the floor is yours.
Beth, you're muted.
Thank you, Gladys. I'm Beth Njeri, Nakuru Toastmasters Club. We had 2 teams, Nakuru and Ruaraka, and this is what we discussed. We were looking at delegation, and we agreed that delegation is assigning tasks to, or a task to an individual, while giving them authority, giving them the goals and the objectives for the task, and giving them timelines so that they are able to work within a specified time to complete their tasks. We also agreed that people need to be trusted for the tasks that they are being delegated to take upon, and they need to be supported, to be mentored and coached for those tasks. We also, so that you don't have to know how to do the task ahead of you, but you only need support, and you need to be given all the guidelines so that you're able to achieve whatever goals have been set. Then also, delegation ensures that the individual is empowered so that they deliver successfully. So getting delegation into club succession plan, we see that this should start early so that throughout the year you have set out tasks for each person to do. And we've seen that subcommittees are a form of delegation for each officer, and this should start early enough so that succession then becomes seamless. And before assigning people to subcommittees, it's important to carry out a moments of truth so that you align the members' passions and goals to the succession plan, and that way you're able to align them to the respective subcommittees. So after a moment of truth, then you're able to form the subcommittees so that you put each member to the areas they wish to grow. And we also see that once you've done this, you're able to pick the member strengths as you move along the way during the year, and you're able to tell which member then is best for what position or for what office for the next year. Then we've also it's a pool of mentors from, say, the area or the district so that members are supported and they're motivated to ensure that they achieve their goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Carol. Let's all clap for her for that wonderful presentation.
That's Beth.
Carol, perhaps you could also tell us of any plans that you have. Did you manage to tackle a little bit of the club success plan? The how and the when? Did you get into that?
Both clubs have not yet done their succession plan, and we're also getting guidance on doing it. Each club has set their own date to complete that. For Nakuru, we'll probably be doing it the coming Friday. For Ruaraka, they had to agree on a date when they are going to do that.
Thank you very much. One takeaway for me is that even as you delegate, the person who is being delegated to doesn't necessarily have to know what, they don't need to be an expert, but by your guidance and your support, then they actually get to understand what the role is all about, kind of like coaching them, which is the next group that we will be going to. Team Thika and then Dorrit, kindly take us through what you discussed during the coaching session.
Okay, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Paul Onduru from Thika Toastmasters Club. We were handling what effective coaching entails. And we discussed and found that coaching is a process that enables learning and development to occur to improve performance. This performance can be in terms of speech delivery or performance of various roles that one may be assigned in the Toastmasters Club. So first of all, what is the difference between coaching and mentoring? From our discussion, it was clear that mentoring is more long-term. Coaching is relatively of a shorter period. In mentoring, most of the time it is from something that someone has experienced. In coaching, maybe not. They may just be holding your hand and being there as you are doing a particular role. So it is obvious that coaching is more long-term, and that mentoring is more long-term and coaching is more short-term. So how or what entails a successful coaching? The first step is to identify the goals or the objectives of the person being coached. And in this, you can try to identify the gaps. Maybe if it's in the performance of a given role, say the president's role, you will start by asking, what does the person think can be done differently? What do they think can be improved, etc. And then after that, you set action points. Now, how will the gaps identified be filled? How will the needs be satisfied? After that, now you go straight to implementation. You finalize by going through evaluation. In evaluation, in case there is any failure, the failure could be as a result of not taking an action, or maybe in the planning stage, you did not have the right solutions to solve a particular problem. So after evaluation, you change. And evaluation process can be something that is continuous. You don't have to wait for the 12 months to elapse for you to do the evaluation and to make the changes. And having said that, we can conclude that the coaching process, just like the mentoring process, is something that is continuous, and it should be something that is always ongoing within a club. Thank you. You are muted.
Thank you, Paul, for demystifying to us what coaching is all about. It was only recently that I got to have the opportunity, or so I thought, to mentor a seasoned Toastmaster in my club who was seeking to finish his Distinguished Toastmaster program. And I got to realize that, and sorry to be the devil's advocate, that sometimes if coaching does not work, then you are allowed to exit the relationship. But that is a story for another day. Thank you very much, Paul. Let's move on to the last group. Group number 4 will be taking us
We
through
didn't clap for that group, please.
We didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I don't mind.
Group number 3, the coaching. Yeah, the magic, the A in the magic. Thank you very much, Gladys. And indeed, we can tell that this was a group that was well knowledgeable on coaching related issues. Paul, if I might ask you on behalf of your group, if you don't mind, kindly share the notes on the chat so that the rest of us can practice some of these things that might have skipped our mind. Thank you very much for that, Paul. Lastly, we go to group number 4. Group number 4 was to take us through SMART goals, or rather will be taking us through SMART goals. The group entailed Kisumu, Dojo, and NBA, and may the captain who was steering the ship kindly take up the...
Thank you very much, facilitator. I wasn't a captain, I was just a team member. So each of us was holding an oar and each of us was rowing. When we looked at SMART goals, we agreed on one goal that each of the clubs represented in this group would like to achieve by the end of June 2021. And this is making our club president distinguished. So the goal is making our club president distinguished by end of June 2021. The S in SMART stands for specific. As you can see from what I've read out as our goal, it's very specific because it talks about an action. Forget even about the date and everything, but an action, like making our club president distinguished. The next one is measurable. For us to be able to measure whether we are on track, and even at the end of the season of the June 2021, to find out if we have attained the goal, there are specific goals, and we know there are 9 DCP goals that needs to be attained or achieved before you get the president distinguished. So it's very measurable. If you don't get the number of goals, then obviously you've not achieved it. Achievable, that's the A in SMART. The achievable, yes, this is achievable because for as long as all members and the EXCO members are committed and dedicated to that goal, and we can break down these goals, the 9 goals, to little bits, bite sizes, and know what each person is supposed to do. For as long as we work on our success plan also and incorporate it into these goals, then definitely this will be achievable. Realistic, yes, that's the R in SMART. Most clubs have already achieved 2 goals in just in 2 months. For instance, we are having the training of the officers, and that's something that we can already put in our bag as something that's been done. 12 months is a really long time for us to be able to get these 9 goals. And with the possible exception of Dojo, who are just opening up to outside ones, and who we've all committed to support, the other clubs should find it very, very easy to achieve this. But for sure, even Dojo, as we have discussed in our group, we're going to work day and night to ensure that by the end of June 2021, they've also been able to achieve the goal of making their club president distinguished. Then timely, the time has been stated there because this is time bound. We've talked about a particular date, and that is June 2021. When we talk about SMART goals, there's some things that we always forget. We just discussed this and agreed that we should stop talking about SMART goals, but talk about smarter goals. So you add an E and an R at the end. The E stands for evaluation. Every quarter, every club should be able to evaluate their position as to how far they are in attaining their targets. And we also know that twice a year, the area director makes club visits to be able to find out how far they've gone with their targets. Then R is being able to review every time you have evaluated to find out if maybe you can even go beyond the goals you've set for yourself. And we have actually agreed that we'd like to achieve more goals than even what we have set for ourselves that make us president distinguished by the end of June 2021. Each club has committed to have had their success goals done, success plans done by end of July 2020. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Let's give them a huge round of applause for that very informative session. I always thought that I was an expert in terms of matters setting SMART goals, but that's why we are in Toastmasters. We learn something new every single day. So what I have learned from you this afternoon, Ken, and your team, is that we can go beyond smart and become smarter. And you can be rest assured that the next training I'll be giving on SMART goals, I will sure add the E and the R to that acronym. And in terms of going beyond the minimum, which is 9 out of 10, to become a distinguished president club, indeed it is very much possible. I don't mean to blow my own trumpet, but a club I'm associated with this year attained to get 13 out of 10 goals. Even Toastmasters did not know where to place the remaining 3. So there you go. It is very possible to go over and beyond the goals that you have set. Thank you very much, Ken, and thank you, Team Smart Goals, for taking us through this. So ladies and gentlemen, there you go. You are the experts. I did have a PowerPoint presentation that I was meant to be taking you through, but as we have seen, we are experts in this matter. So the only thing I would perhaps like to highlight that I felt might not have been touched on, allow me to share. And this is in the presentation on motivation, is that, and this was mentioned by the group that was presenting it, that we need to realize what motivates our team members. And there is the hierarchy motivation pyramid that we can use with one of, I think I am having a problem. Robert, I don't know if you could, okay, let me try and. Just a minute. Yes, this is the slide that I'm looking for. It's important, as the team motivation highlighted to us, to understand what motivates each individual. There are members who will come to the club not to deliver their speeches. Maybe there are members who have come to socialize, especially during when we were meeting physically. There are members who have come to socialize. In my club, for instance, it is majorly associated with business-oriented people. Some people have come to exchange business cards. Maybe someone somewhere is eyeing some possible partner in the future. I mean, we've heard of instances where Toastmasters have become an item. So you, of course, the main thing that they're coming for is to harness their leadership, communication, and public speaking skills, but they could be having other underlying things that motivate them. And we do have, I don't know if most of you have come across that persona. There's a presentation on the different personas that we have in Toastmasters. So once you're able to understand the different kind of personas that we have in Toastmasters, so you can also be able to segment each and every member of your club and understand what motivates them. As the EXCO, you can come up with strategies of reaching out to the different individuals to find out where they fall. That is what I wanted to highlight, and what motivates each individual. And then when we look at the hierarchy of motivation in Toastmasters, it all starts, we all came to Toastmasters because we either wanted to overcome our public speaking skills, or we already had some and we wanted to take it a notch higher. And then once we have gotten into this space, we need to make it a safe and secure place, a supportive club environment, what we are calling the magic, where we mentor, we appreciate, we give, we identify what each and every member wants as well as what we want. And then we make sure that, I am forgetting the last one, we care about each other. Social, they need relating to each other. Make it a warm, friendly environment. We have heard of stories of what Anchored does to ensure that they make their Friday meet a social one, what Kwanzaa does, what K does, what does your club do to ensure that this is a social space of learning and not some type of a lecture room. Esteem, the achieving and the appreciation that we are talking about. Do we acknowledge our members even when one completes an icebreaker, when one finishes a level, a path, whatever it is role that they take up in your club and beyond? Do we boost their self-esteem? And then finally, the self-actualization. They need to realize your potential, that you can or will already have overcome your fear. Have they gotten to the upper echelon of the hierarchy of their needs? And are you providing that as a club in terms of making that magical experience to them? I will share this